Welcome back to the Driving Line YouTube channel. Today we're going to be finally hitting the track with our C6 drift build. In case you guys are new to the channel, in the last 7 episodes, we've taken a completely stock, actually worse than stock, base C6 Corvette and completely transformed it into this, which is our Japanese-inspired drift car. To begin, we started with the mechanics of everything. It's going to be the steering angle kit and the suspension. For that, we did Fortune Auto 510 coilovers with upgraded Hyperco springs. And then on top of that, we did WiseFab narrow body knuckle kit for the steering angle. After that, we got into the Hydro e-brake, which is by PBM. And that's an essential part to really getting competitive with your driving, especially as you hit the track. That allows you to independently lock up the rear wheels. And we may not even use that today because this is a pretty tight area for us to test it. On top of that, we completely stripped the interior. And inside, we have a Sonoma spec welded in roll cage with door bars, which is going to be essential to keep us safe as we start doing more tandems and things like that. And you can also see our OMP steering wheel, which has a quick release. That's essential, so that way we can actually get out of the car in case we ever had to. The T-Mod shifter in there, which really dials in how this car feels when you're shifting, because for the most part, we're staying in 1, 2, and 3. We're not gonna be doing too crazy of high-speed stuff, especially in this lot, but as we hit larger tracks like Sonoma, that's whenever we can start to play with that. On the bottom, you'll find Motegi wheels, and we have Nitto tires, the NT555 G2, and the plan is today to burn those up as we learn how to do our first drift. Something that you really can't miss is going to be that Vinyl Frog Miami Blue wrap. That really pops. Now, this is in the shade, but in the sun, you guys will see here in a sec, it's very bright. And then we started layering on a design made by Square Design, then printed by Design Shop React. Underneath the hood is a completely bone stock LS2, and this is really to prove the point that we don't need massive power to learn. Now, this car, some could argue, is massively overbuilt. This is actually a really good learner car. All the fluids are fresh, everything is checked, and all that's left to do is throw on a helmet, hit the track, and actually start learning our first ever donuts. What you guys are about to witness is literally my first time ever sliding a car on purpose. Now, my previous experience has really just been my Bronco in snow, which of course that starts to lose traction on the trails and doing some snow runs. But this is my first time taking a car with concrete and something that typically has full grip and trying to get it to go sideways. This feeling goes against everything you've ever been told about driving, right? You want to grab some traction, you want to straighten out, you don't want to lose control. But the art of drifting is being in control of something that looks out of control. Start steering with your throttle pedal rather than the steering wheel, and you just do these minor corrections, which, as you can see, I am not doing. I am sawing away at the steering wheel, I am stabbing the throttle, I'm all over the place. And that's why you see me come in, try to hear the advice from others who have more experience than me, and then I'd go out there and try to really use that advice and learn. This is all about seat time, and you're gonna see me do a ton of spin outs, making mistakes, but I wanted to keep it all in this video to give you a realistic overview of what it's like learning for the first time ever, how to do donuts, how to drift, and be in control of what looks like being out of control. I'm gonna go ahead and step away from the mic here for a little bit and just let you guys hear that LS2 scream with that Corsa exhaust. But this is the truth about learning how to drive and drift, is that you're gonna make mistakes, and I want you guys to see everything. As you can probably hear, the car is not sounding too great. We have been having this intermittent throttle position sensor issue, and I really can't get to the bottom of it. Apparently these C6 Corvettes are quite finicky when it comes to electrical components, so I think there might be a harness or something loose within the car, but shout out again to Cali Customs who let me borrow their code reader to be able to clear the code and get back out there on the track. LS Tim, who is a legit drift driver, was also at Cali Customs the same day and ironically also built a C6 drift car. He was doing a video shoot for his own social media, but this car is absolutely insane, and as you can see with his skills, he is keeping it super controlled and knows exactly where to place that car. Follow him on Instagram for a ton of great content on drifting and his cars that he's building, but as you can see here, the dude's got crazy skills. Two Corvette shoots same day. One's actual drifter, one's a wannabe drifter. Now what you guys are about to see is the footage from runs 2 and 3, and you're gonna see that sun start to set. Now in certain areas, it was blinding me. I was looking straight into the sun, so I didn't get too crazy against the wall or anything, but what I want to showcase here is the progression and how I'm trying to get closer to that outside cone, be able to be in control of my slide on this cone. But again, I'm still making mistakes. But what I'm getting more and more comfortable with, and as you're gonna see here, is I'm more so on the throttle. I'm getting used to being in the gas pedal rather than immediately wanting to straighten out and have that urge. And if I do say so myself, I had a couple of pretty close ones, but to be honest, I couldn't really control that. I think I just got lucky and I even hit the cone a couple times, but no damage to the car. It's meant to do that, and this thing will be doored, I'm sure, one day as we start getting into tandems and things like that. I will say it was pretty cool because the crowd was starting to get a little bit more vocal and cheer me on as I was getting more comfortable out there, and it really did help a ton with all the advice and feedback that people were giving me. But again, it's gonna come down to seat time, which to do safely, you're gonna have to go to a track or to a drift pit like this that you can rent out. And that's really the next goal, is to be able to continue to work in this drift pit, be able to really place the car where I want to be, and then take it to the track, no tandems, but take it to the track, start trying to link some turns and make a fool of myself there. This one I am particularly proud of because I was listening to LS Tim, who said left foot brake to really snap the rear end around, and look at how tight I'm keeping it around that cone. This is some Von Gittin level stuff right here in my mind, but I know I'm so far away from that. It was just really fun to actually be in control, snap it around that cone nice and tight, and then take it out a little bit wider. Then of course I spun out, but that's the whole thing, right? We're learning here. After that, one of the Cali Customs guys actually rode with me and gave me a little bit of advice, so I'll let you guys listen in on that too.
So one thing I was noticing earlier, stay in it a little bit more, and turn in a little earlier. As much as that sounds like the wrong thing to do, because I know you came from track, right? Yeah. So you're used to countering to make sure you stay straight. So once you feel it flick out, stay in it. Don't let off immediately, and don't push anymore. Just flick it out and just kind of hold it there. And then what you can do is, you're doing great too with the blah 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 blah, but stay in a little bit more. Just Yep. That was the only things I really noticed earlier. So just focus on that, like that flick, and then counter in. You got the wide tab, so you got all the angle in the world. And just stay in it.
advice of one of the very generous Cali Customs guys, I was really starting to get it and feel more comfortable. And as you're gonna see here, I was starting to just stay in the throttle, which is a big part of this. You just need to stay in there, be in that 35 to 4,500 RPM range. He said that's where these LS motors really like to live. And then from there, just kind of play with the throttle, play with the steering, and just kind of get used to it. I really like this little turn here because I just kept it going and I left foot braked, did a giant burnout because there was a little crowd kind of forming along that edge, and I want to give them a little bit of a smoke show. And those Nitto NT555 G2s held up perfectly fine. I actually still drove home on the set that you're seeing right there. They had so much life in them. As long as you don't have 1,500 horsepower, you don't blow through them in about 3 minutes. So I got a ton of time with these tires, and huge shout out to all of the partners for this build for allowing me to build this car and take something that, you know, if you looked at it from the beginning, probably looked like a jalopy, but we turned it into a full drift car and it's performing wonderfully. Besides that check engine light, but we'll get down to the bottom of that. The guy you're watching drive now is named Kai, and he is on LS Tim's drift team where he actually helps support him in his program. This is him driving his backup car, which is that green E46. And then Tim comes out and joins him and does a little bit of a tandem. I spoke to Kai and he said that he originally learned in that green car and then over time progressed by using a driving simulator. Driving simulators give you a ton of extra seat time without having to spend a ton of money or risk an entire car. And if I had more room in my condo, I would totally get one. The good thing though is that Cali Customs is building drift sims and building a drift school. As you guys saw, we have a lot to learn to really be able to hit the track and get to that goal of tandeming with other drift cars. We also uncovered a few issues with the car, like that check engine light for the gas pedal or the throttle position sensor. We're still trying to figure that out, but we'll get down to the bottom of that so that way when we hit the track, we have no worries and the car is super reliable. In the last 7 episodes, you guys saw us take a janky base C6 Corvette and turn into this, which is a complete transformation. Now it's all about getting seat time, it's about getting more on the track and just learning as much as I can. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up right here. As always, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, then please comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Thanks for watching. I'm Lauren Healy, Team Nitto driver and off-road racing champion. Driving Line brings you weekly episodes and series, so hit subscribe. Don't miss the next video with more automotive content that fuels you. We'll see you out there.